Well, happy holidays to all of you. As always, thank you so much for making time for us right here on My Doctor. I trust that you are doing well with your friends and family this holiday season, and I'm pretty sure that you are enjoying your time. But remember, everything should be in moderation. Well, on today's episode, we want to do something light and fun, and that is something that affects all of us in one way or the other, and that is all about relationships. It could be relationship with your family, it could be relationship with your co-workers, it could be relationships with your loved one or with your partner. Of course, that is what we'll be focusing on today, and how this affects us in one way or the other. So it's going to be an amazing show. It's going to be so much fun. But as always, we want you to be part of this discussion. So feel free to send in your SMSs, either with your questions or your comments on 20920. And of course, we'll be looking at them later on in the show. But for now, our guest is here to help us discuss on matters dating and relationships. We are joined by one Grace Kariuki, who is a family and marriage therapist. Thank you so much for coming by today. You look so lovely.
Thank you.
Happy holidays to you too.
To you too.
Are you having a good time with friends and family?
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah?
Looking forward to Christmas and all that comes with it.
Christmas is my favorite time of the year. What's yours?
Oh, Christmas.
Christmas as well. All right, and of course, as like I said, today's discussion is basically centered around relationships.
Yes.
But today we want to focus more on the romantic side of a relationship, because you see most of the time some of us are in a toxic relationship and we don't really know if it's toxic. So that is what we'll be focusing on today. Are you ready for the discussion?
Oh yes.
All right, so
ready. Yes.
Let's have a seat, and of course thank you so much, like I said, for just making time for us during this holiday season.
It's my pleasure.
Now, can we just start with the basics? You know, when we talk about dating, and how it has changed over time. Because you see, dating, let's say in the 80s, 70s, 90s, it's different from dating now. So can you just talk about those dynamics very quickly?
Right. Now, in the dispensation we are living in right now, dating sometimes is synonymous with I'll marry you.
Yep.
So we start dating, and I think also we have changed what we believe marriage is, or whether marriage is really something I should plan for. So people are living their lives as married couples, but they are not really married traditionally as we would know it. Whether it is we have made a commitment to our parents, to friends, everybody knows, or we have done something that is legal to say that we are married. So what we are having now is that people are starting with a little dating and then suddenly marriage, you know, which is now the moving in together, and then dating continues while we are together. And then so there are all kinds, we get into all kinds of things while we are together. We have already joined ourselves emotionally, sexually, and also physically, because we are living together. And it can be as innocent as we are students, so why are you living in a hostel somewhere and me in another? We are paying. Why don't we just join forces
and just pay for this way?
You know, to saidiane. But then we don't realize when we do that, we actually set up a domestic home. We set up something that is more than roommates. We are not roommates. And so what is going to happen in that situation, neither are we prepared for marriage, neither are we prepared for the commitment. So we may be saying that, you know, we are not married or anything, but the way we are living and the expectations we have of each other is that of a married, committed couple. So there is no way I'm going to be living with a guy in the same house, and then I can come home at 2 a.m. and there is a guy who has walked me to the door. I'm going to get
explanation to do.
And the same thing with him. I don't expect you. We are living together and we have a relationship, and you are out there doing your thing, and you come home and I can't ask, or your phone, you are flirting and all that, and I can't ask a question. So that is the biggest problem we have right now. Relationships, dating relationships, romantic relationships are not defined.
I like that point, because even aside from even people living together, cohabiting, because that is what is actually happening now, people will tell you, well, I am with this guy or I am with this lady, but I'm not sure if we're dating,
yes,
or we're friends with benefits, or I do not know what we are.
Exactly.
So we do not have a label. And there's this other thing that people say, as we don't have a label, we
Yeah.
don't like labels,
Right.
as we're just having, you know, the best time of our lives.
Yes.
Is this dangerous? Because like you said, there's no sense of commitment.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is dangerous because we are not being honest.
Yeah.
And we are not being authentic. We are going with the flow. Somebody needs to sit and say, how comfortable am I with not having a label
Yeah.
about this relationship? You need to sit down and really ask yourself. Because if you don't, of course, you are going to be termed as party pooper,
Yeah.
or you are not going with the times, well, it's not that serious. You will, but you need to be honest with yourself,
Yeah.
because you are going to get hurt. Emotional pain is one of the triggers to
Yeah.
the violence we are seeing in relationships,
Yeah.
and the depression that people are going through. So we are having a lot of people who are killing themselves, attempting suicide. The other day, I'm in my house, I get you know, an SMS, Madam Grace, I need your help, I'm very suicidal right now. And then I write back and I say, what has triggered this? It's a relationship.
It is.
Oh, I called
Yeah.
and they snapped me, or they said something to me that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
So we need to be serious about the seriousness of being in an intimate relationship.
Yeah.
It is affecting you whether you
is.
accept it
Or
or
not,
not.
yeah.
The best thing is for you to be realistic
Oh, yeah.
about what is really going on inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is a thing that we do not really think deep about.
Yes.
Because we think, oh, well, we're just having a good time. I mean, this is not affecting me in one way or the other,
Yeah.
but we don't know that it does.
It does.
You know. So then can we... the different stages,
Yes.
you know, of dating. Because like I said, dating now.
Yes, it's
and
very
back
different.
then it's very, very different.
Yeah.
People will tell you, man, it's so hard to
Yes.
date in the 21st century.
Right.
Which is kind of true. Because,
Yes.
I mean, like you said, people are not being honest. People are not committed
Yeah.
to the relationship. We just want a really quick thing and then
Yes.
we're out of it. So can we talk about then, very briefly, about the different stages
Yes.
that we need to go through?
that we go. Now, dating is about gathering data. So I'm meeting you and I'm getting to know you,
okay.
to know who, at least to have an understanding of who you are and what is your state in life before I make the choice. Now, when I cannot know you within a day, neither can I know you within a week,
Yeah.
and neither can I know you within 3 days. So I need to be able to give myself at least 90 days. Those are 3 months.
3 months.
So
All right.
anybody who's looking for a timeline, dating, when the day that you start going out with this person, give yourself 90 days.
All right.
Before you join your finances,
Okay.
don't borrow money from each other.
Okay.
Before you move in together.
Okay.
Before, and I am going to sound old-fashioned, but before you get sexually intimate. And number 4, even before you say that, you know, you are going to be my wife for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Before you make those judgments and before you say those words, the words, I love you. Let's use the word like, I feel you. I really enjoy time
Look
with
out,
you.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to what this will become. Wasichana wasikize. Stop craving for those 3 words.
Yeah.
They will, a man will tell you, and even a woman. I remember meeting a guy, and in 2 weeks he told me, Grace, I love you. And I was taken aback because we had not yet met face to face, because we were talking on the phone. We were long distance.
Yeah.
And when he told me, I love you, I felt something, I panicked.
Yep.
But you know what I did? I said, I love you too. And immediately after I said that, I knew I should not have said that. How do you love somebody you
Yeah,
haven't
you
set your
don't-
eyes
yeah.
on? That is a fantasy, and it's something that is in my mind because I am filled with this emotional high of connecting. This is infatuation. So that is the first 3 months. Please, let's not push people to tell us they love us until we understand what love means.
is. Yeah.
And then let's not push people to do. There are times when I have met people who have told me, unless she moves in with me, I cannot believe that she's committed to me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I say, but where does that come from? And of course, when you probe, you find out that this person is trying to prevent something from happening that happened to
trap this
them.
person.
Not even to trap. up. They are self-preserving. Because before I was cheated on. And he thinks or she thinks that the reason why I was cheated on is because we were not together. You see? And this is, to prevent that. So I decide, in order for me to know that you're committed, you have to move in with me. That is a problem. Because we are not ready for that. So 3 months, date, gather information. Because somebody can tell you the first day, they can withhold some information like children, whether they were married before or not, whether they are in a relationship that is troubled, they are on their way out. They might not tell you that on the first day. But then if you continue to be with them and to spend more time with them, this information will come. So let's give people time. And then we go into what now we call, now I have dated you, I have known you, I have heard about your family, I know your friends, I know where you work, I know something about you. I know whether you are a kind person, an angry person, or that by my interactions with you. After that, now I can make the decision, is this a person I would like to pursue more? Now at that point, define the relationship. Once you define the relationship, then you define where we are going, and you can talk about now courtship. Courtship, you are preparing for a commitment. And I usually say, I am still old-fashioned, no moving in together. I think the best way, and this is what I'm going to tell young men, honor your girl's parents by making sure before you move in with her, before you ask her to move in with you, show that restraint, show that respect. Even that girl will feel very respected and say, I want to meet your dad.
But what if the girl wants to move in?
Now I'm talking to both of them. I'm saying even for you, the girl, lady, have some dignity. Show that that you're not desperate, because that is why we are having toxic relationships. Because people are getting into relationships for the wrong reasons. I am lonely, so I'm gonna move in. Why am I having a boyfriend and he lives in the next estate? We are sleeping in different houses. So this loneliness, and then when you do that, maybe this person has unfinished business. So they have a baby mama who will call in the middle of the night, who is a drama queen, or they have this, but you haven't given the guy time to be able to explain to you what kind of life his is. So don't be so quick. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this need to move in? And I'm going to say, for the boys, please offer leadership in this relationship and say, Han, you know what? I want to do the right thing. And please don't impregnate her. You know, because that now if she gets pregnant, you can't do the thing that you want to do. Now, what am I saying? What I am saying is, let's be intentional. And let's be clear what we want. Let's define. Myself, I need to define what is this relationship for myself. And then together, let's define. Now, if somebody tells you that, I'm just buying time. If you still like them, and then stop thinking about the wedding. And just buy time with them, you know. But if they are buying time and you are on a time clock and you need to move on, then move on to somebody else who is within the same space where you are. A lot of times, incompatibility is happening on so many levels, including timing. So you have come into my life, but then I'm still married. Although we are separated with my wife. Wrong timing. Because again, this person has unfinished business. You move into his house, and usually men who have been married before, or women who have been married before, and they are in between, it's easier for them to move in because walikuwa wamezoea ile companionship. Unaona? So it's easier for them to just say, why don't we just move in together? I am saying that you need to identify what your process, what you need your process to be. Kama unataka the guy to come to your father and respect and offer that respect to say that I want you to talk to my dad and let my dad know that you are interested in me before we do anything. It's a protective measure, and it is also a sign, something that has to do with accountability and transparency. So it's not just me and you anymore. We have other eyes.
Other eyes, yeah.
There are people who are in the church. Once they start dating and they tell each other that we are serious, they go to their pastor. Maybe they are leaders in the church. They seek for that extra accountability.
Yeah.
And that is important. Now, I know there are many questions. People will ask, what if your parents refuse the guy? What if the pastor says that it is not God's will, all that? You know, we can answer those specific ones. But on the outset, you want to create the kind of life you will be proud of when you are 5 years into that marriage. You don't have these things, I wish he could have, he never did, or she never did.
Yeah. And remember the last time we had a discussion on the same, it was more on knowing yourself and giving yourself time to really understand who you are. So that at the end of the day, it will be easy even for you to identify and see this one is not on the right path with me, so goodbye. But 3 months, give yourself time.
Dating, date for 3 months, and during these 3 months, no entanglements. You know, try as much as you can. You won't die. 3 months is not that. Especially if you're having fun, 3 months is not that short, long. Actually. And in fact, why don't you do that so that it can be exciting and you're looking forward to something? But if you're siku ya kwanza, the first week, you've already gone, washed his clothes and slept with him and everything.
That is what most people want now. They'll be like me. I mean, if she can't come to my house and do the dishes, do my laundry and all those things, how am I supposed to know that this person is the wife material? A discussion that we always have in the office.
The thing is that is manipulation. It is manipulation. So I am saying, if this guy is really serious and you are also serious, he needs to be with you and to love you and to want to marry you on merit. Not on what you are able to do or cannot do.
Now, can we talk about then the key components of a relationship? Because like we said, sometimes one might be in a toxic relationship and we do not know that this is a toxic relationship. We should get out as soon as possible. So can you talk about some of the key components of a healthy relationship?
So number one, respect. For me, you can love me all you want. But if you do not respect my boundaries, you do not respect my desires, you do not respect my thoughts, and even the way that I deal with life, and my friends and my family, you don't show respect, then that love is your love for yourself. And you just want me to come and add value there, but you have no interest in adding value to me. So if you're in a relationship where the person, now let me give you a very simple example. You have started dating someone and you tell them, hey, by the way, I'm going to the salon, and he offers to go with you and he offers to pay for the salon. But then he goes a step further. He talks to the salonist and says, umtengeneze hivi na hivi. That has nothing to do with you anymore. At that point, he has gone beyond. And what he's saying, if I am paying for it, then it has to be my way. Same thing with clothing.
So subtle. But
that is a red flag that you are dealing with a person who is selfish and what they are interested in is not you. They are interested in themselves. You are a trophy for them and you need to be aware of that. Number two, you start talking about a subject and you have a different opinion and they argue with you and they make you feel stupid that you even thought about it in the first place. And you feel that you cannot disagree with them without them being angry. When you see the anger set in, then you know this is a red flag. This is not a person who is willing to compromise, to be inclusive. It is a person who has no respect for your opinions. And so once you get into a relationship, they are always trying to tell you which friend to be with and which friend to put off. Mimi najua wanaume. Unajua wewe ni So now they are telling you your sense of judgment is zero. You know? So again, it's not about you, it's about them. So selfishness in a relationship is a big red flag. So there are times when you decide to go on a date and it has always to be their choice. When you want to go somewhere else, they are not willing to compromise with you. If you want to pay for yourself, they get angry that you even offered. That's a good thing, isn't it? But then, because it's not about them, then they react. You need to be very careful about that. If you are in a relationship with a yes person, a person who never has an opinion, is whatever you think, babe, that's another sign that this person, either they don't have respect for themselves or they really don't care about you. So whatever it is, I mean, there is no, this relationship is not that important to them, because why wouldn't they want to engage? So you want to look at that. You also want to look at the financial stuff. People are saying these days, if he has not paid for me rent, if he has not done this and that, if she has not given me a loan, or she doesn't help me with this, and they are not wife material, husband material. No. If somebody is asking you to do things that are not in line, they are saying, if you don't do these things, then you don't love me. That is not a healthy relationship. When you are in an intimate relationship, especially a dating and courting relationship, you should be growing together. So it should be that what is important to you is important to me, and what is important to me is important to you, so that we can figure out what the culture of our relationship is going to be. Because we are not the same. And we need to be able to listen. Now, this is the thing. You have a partner, whenever you guys get into a conflict, they shut down. Instead of you continuing to ask them, why are you not talking? What is wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. Try to find out why they feel that way, why they normally shut down. For instance, just observing and saying, "Han, I have observed every time we have an argument, you normally walk away, or you tell me that it's okay, it's all right, don't worry about it. But I know it bothers you. I can see it bothers." Connect to what their emotion is, and then ask. Read up about abusive relationship. Intimidation brings about fear. Humiliating people, and dismissing important things to people. They feel that you are not interested, and you are not caring, and you're not loving. They will stop engaging with you, and you will know they have disconnected from you emotionally. So reach out and say, I have noticed. Please help me understand. What is it that I am doing? Now, you who is going to be giving this feedback, you need to be emotionally ready to handle the truth. And don't again defend yourself. No, validate and say, "Han, I'm really sorry that I have caused you these feelings." Don't tell them, kwa nini uniambiangi? No. Remember, the way they are experiencing you, you are instilling fear in them. And so you need to be able to say, I am really sorry. And I never want you to feel that way, because I love you. And I want the best for you. So can we call a truce? Can you help me? I remember there was a guy I dated long time when I was about 31. And I used to be so defensive. He told me, and he said, Grace, every time I tell you something different than what you know, you defend yourself, and I feel like you are thinking I'm saying you are a bad person. And it helped me. I grew so much from that. So we can grow for one another if we are willing to accept to be corrected. Now, let's go to the next level. There is psychological abuse. And emotional abuse, and also mental torture. There are people who kind of they use words, especially women, abusive women, towards their men. They use a lot of harsh words. When somebody is doing that, you need to be aware of that. Now, you said that somebody may be in a toxic relationship and they are not aware. Usually they are aware. It's just that they are not sure what it is. Because they can feel, I'm not happy. I am not. Every time we are going on a date, nasikia tu nimeshtuka. If I am around him, he's going to embarrass me before people. If I'm around her, she's going to be embarrassing me before people. And so you know, because you are not happy and you are not comfortable.
You see, people would say that, oh, well, if it you kuwa. So I tried to just understand him because you kuwa hivyo.
No. That is a codependent relationship. And let's talk. Codependence is where the relationship is meeting somebody else's else's need, but the other person is giving in so that the relationship can continue. So the person who is giving in may be afraid to lose the relationship. Now, the thing about abusive persons, they live on two edges. When they love very well. And when they hate, because love and hate the same coin. The same, when they hate, it's very, very painful. So the person, the victim in this relationship lives for the good times, because the good times are good,
really good,
you see. And so when they see the bad times, even though the bad times are as bad, they kind of say, but he's a good guy, he has a good heart, she's a good woman, she has a good heart. Or they say, she's very good with the kids, he's very good with the kids, he pays the rent, he does that is the price you have to pay in order to stay in the relationship. And so you need to be able to understand that. Let me say this very quickly, because it's important for people to do. When it becomes physical, now your life is in danger. There is no one way, two ways. I am telling people all the time, assault is a crime. If you are the one who is hitting someone else, that is a crime. You are a criminal. And you who have been assaulted, don't wait. Please report these things. Now, I know we normally report to parents first thing, and that's okay. You need to report to someone else. Your abuser needs to know that this information is not a secret. Because when you anika someone, then they are careful the next time. So report it. If you can report, especially if you are hurt, then report it to the police. Don't worry about whether the case will go on or not. You need an OB. And you need to be able to see a doctor. It needs to be documented. Because most of the times abuse continues to get worse with time. And there will be a time, if you are in a relationship that has children, that you will want the kids, or you will want to separate from this person, and he will use or she will use the kids,
which I think is something, and this is something that we hear a lot, especially from women who say, you know what, I can't leave the relationship because of the kids, which is very, very wrong. We need to take a very short break, but when we come back, then we can talk about something which I think happens more often now, and that is on infidelity. And how do you move on past that? That is, if you decide to stay with this person, how do you move on past that and build a trust, on the same? All right, welcome back. Glad you're still with us. This is My Doctor. Very, very insightful discussion we're having today as far as just dating and relationship is concerned. And on our previous episode, of course, we focused on relationships in general with, might not necessarily be romantic, but how we relate with each other. But today we're focusing on romantic relationships. And before we went for break, of course, we're talking about some of the things that might be a red flag that often than not we ignore. All right. So now the issue of infidelity. When is, first of all, what do you term as infidelity or cheating? Because I have heard so many interesting definitions on cheating and infidelity that sometimes it's just shocking. You're like, wait, what? Like, is that how you think infidelity is? So just on the basics, infidelity, cheating, what does it really entail?
Now, expectations are important when you are talking or when we are defining infidelity. So infidelity can mean a lot of things to as many people as we are in the world. And so for me, infidelity might be physical, sexual contact. For somebody else, it might be flirting. Somebody else, it might be you talking to that woman or that man, and you guys are laughing and looking more happy together. Or it could be that this person that you talk to all the time, you call each other every day, 2-3 times a day, and is a person of the opposite sex, and you may not be in a infidelous relationship, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. Then we do also have people who are social. People who just love being around people, they hug everybody, they laugh with everybody, they are just a social butterfly. And then you are with a person who feels that is, you are crossing some lines. So for every relationship, you want to define what infidelity is. So we do know the infidelity of a sexual encounter with another person. Then we do know emotional infidelity. And emotional infidelity, we are not sexually sexually together. We have never had sex, but we talk with each other all the time. Now, let me talk about some aspects of emotional infidelity. Number one, sexually explicit material that you send each other over. Sometimes you have video calls where you are showing each other your private parts, or you are doing whatever it is that you are doing together. You are having phone sex where we are talking explicit phone stuff that stimulates us sexually. And then there is also the time. You know, how much time we spend with each other, plus how, you know, what time of the day we call each other. So the frequency, as well as the content, as well as the time that we call. For instance, if you're going to call me at 9:30 at night, then that is not an innocent call. You are lonely, and maybe you are feeling, gosh, I'm in bed alone, I'm thinking, and so I reach out to someone. If I accept that call, and my husband is there, he is going to feel disrespected, because this is my time with him. So what am I doing talking to some guy, you know, at that time of the night? And I have had people saying, who calls another person's husband at 10 o'clock in the night, or 2 in the morning, you know? So, and also where you are spending time with each other is important. And so it may be very innocent to you, but to the person that you are committed to, it doesn't look that innocent. And so, and then financial infidelity. So I'm spending money on some people, and my wife or my husband has no idea who these people are and why I'm spending this money with them. If you are married and you have a mpango wa kando, or a girl that you talk to, and most likely it's a younger girl, they are always calling you, nitumie pesa ya nywele, nilipie Uber, and all that. So when you are sending this monies, they may not be a lot, but you see, for your wife or your committed partner, it's not about the amount. It's about why you sent, and why she is not aware, or he is not aware that you're doing that. So financial infidelity is also one of those. And then there is also something we call social infidelity. And social infidelity is that you are spending time with people I do not know, and you are not telling me who they are. You are not exposing them to me, and so I'm feeling left out. So you see what I'm saying? So the idea of being intimate with someone is so that we are talking about everything. You are making decisions without letting me know. I will start to suspect that if you're not talking to me, then who are you talking to? So I become suspicious, and the people that, if I see that you are not talking to me, you are moody, you are all that, but then somebody calls you and you light up, and this is a woman, it's not, is a person of the opposite sex, I will start to have my own questions. You see, it's sad that now we have normalized infidelity, in that you'd find that people say, oh yeah, this one cheated on this one, oh well, that's normal. I mean, and more so, sadly, it's more on the men, like it's okay. I mean, it's sort of like expected for the guy to cheat as compared to the woman cheating. And having this discussion with people, they'll tell you, me, if I find my girlfriend cheating, that is it. But we ask them, then what if your girlfriend finds you cheating? They'll be like, I'm a guy. Of course.
You get. So that aspect of normalizing cheating, should people then go into relationships expecting that this might happen? Because I mean, it's normal now. Everybody's cheating.
No, you shouldn't expect that, because then you are saying you are lowering. You are lowering your standards. You're also telling yourself, oh, okay, it's okay. So even for you, you can cheat. So I want to say that. Like we said the last time, that define who you are, and define what you can stand, what you stand for. When it comes to infidelity, define it for yourself. And then let your partner also define. And then you guys agree what is the culture of your relationship. What is it going to be? There are people who will say, as long as you come back home to me, I don't care. I don't ever want to know who you are with out there.
Okay.
So that person is in that relationship for other reason other than faithfulness and love and trust and all that. So that means, or it could be that even them, that's the way they are. Now, in order for the relationship to be healthy, be honest with what, if you guys want to have an open relationship, be honest. People are doing that. You know, they have open relationships. When I'm not with you, don't ever ask me who I am with. You know, when we meet in the house, just don't bring that person into our circles. Don't ever invite me where they are. I just keep them anonymous. And these are people who have gone to the extent of, we don't even look at each other's, you know, social media. So I don't see that. So let me say this. If you want to really define what infidelity in your relationship is, wacha hii ya kila mtu yako. Listen to your spouse. Listen to your partner. So when your partner says that every time I see you take a picture with so and so, that you are in this party, you are, I get triggered to think
you're cheating. And you see something else that people always say is, you see, this person just suspects that I'm cheating. It doesn't mean that I am cheating. It's just that this person suspects I am cheating.
Right.
And you see that, and they will tell you, but since they are suspecting, that I might as well cheat, might not necessarily be with this other person that they think I'm cheating with. I might as well just go and cheat with someone, someone else. So they tend to blame it on their partner and say, you know, they actually pushed me you know, towards doing this.
That's manipulation. Let me talk about something we call locus of control. Locus of control is the concept of what motivates you to live your authentic integrity life. For instance. So if I am going to cheat, then I need to ask myself, is that what I would do on my own? Or is that being, somebody else has power over me? That's what I'm saying. I'm not in control of myself. So I'm going to go with whoever says. So when people say, if you keep suspecting me, I'm going to do it so that I can prove you.
Just to prove it to you. That,
you are really lowering your dignity, and you are also saying that I'm not an agent of my own choices. I am being pushed by somebody else to do that. If my partner, and this is what I say all the time, the thing that causes us to feel safe in relationships is our experience with each other. As we walk through our lives, we are telling each other how I'm experiencing you. So if there is a Kamau that I am friends with, and Kamau causes my husband to feel, or my boyfriend to feel that insecure, then I need to check that, because I want my experience with the person who is intimate with me to be safe. I am concerned about them. I am empathetic. Now, if there is, of course, now there are the outliers. We are talking about now people who have insecurities generally. So that person, then we are going to say that person needs to identify what am I afraid of, and also you as a partner who is there, and your significant other keeps telling you that you are cheating, you need to kind of ask them, what are you really afraid of? Let's talk about the fear behind me talking to people of the opposite sex, and get to know, let's learn to stop working with the surface and go deeper.
Communicate.
And let's not label people. Let's not tell them you are just being insecure. No. And especially because we know each other's histories, it's good to say, hey, by the way, so when I talk to Jerry, it triggers the way that so and so cheated on you.
Is it more on the way they talk to this other person, or is it more on the frequency, or is it about what they're talking about, or is it all of the above?
All of them. It's all of them.
All of them. So
the content, the intensity, and the frequency, and also the time.
Okay. So then, and you talked about something else, which is talk about these things, and as far as communication is concerned, more so how you feel about infidelity. But here's the thing. Fine, you might talk about it and say, well, I do not like this, I do not like that, I expect this from you as you expect this from me. But some might say, but we're humans. I mean, sometimes you just fall.
Yeah, yeah.
Things just happen. How, because that, of course, that will affect, and especially if this is a discussion that you've had, and this other person knows how I feel about it.
Yes, yes.
But still goes ahead and does it. I mean, regardless, whether it was by mistake, whether they knew what they were doing, it doesn't matter. Because to me, at that point, I will be like, but I told you how I feel about this. So then how do you handle such?
Yeah. Now, this is the thing. Intimacy, emotional intimacy in a relationship is very important.
Yeah.
So what happens when I say to you, I don't like the way you do something, and then you say, okay, I hear you, and it won't happen again.
Yeah.
But then it happens again, and it happens again. What happens to me? I begin to internalize feelings of you don't care about what is important to me, and I look like a fool if I keep telling you. I'm not your mother to keep telling you stop doing
like
that.
this and that.
So what happens? Our emotional intimacy then is blocked.
Sure.
Yeah. So the communication, that communication I'm talking about, let me tell you how I'm experiencing you. Then that communication dies.
Yeah.
Because I am no longer going to look like a fool. Si wewe unajua kitu yenye nimekwambia. If you feel like you have to continue. So what happens is that now over time, then I will check out of the relationship. I emotionally check out. And that is when now the infidelities begin to happen. Because then I am in a relationship and I'm lonely and I'm angry and I am bitter. So now, anytime you talk to me, even if it's about something that is not about us, yani nimekasirika tu. I am mad. The other day I had an experience where a person told me, I know, I can experience the bitterness in my wife. She's very bitter with me and I'm not sure why. So we had to dig that, to probe that, so that she can be able to tell him. And I'm telling you, it was very freeing for him because he already was sensing it. But when there are just the two of them, he is unable to do what I was able to do in facilitating that conversation.
Just understand why.
That conversation to get now them into the place. Because even for her, she stopped telling him, you know, about these things because he wasn't taking them seriously.
But does that mean that you're immature? I mean, in the sense that, and especially when you talked about you emotionally check out. Because this is the thing, people always say that, oh, you're not able to handle it very well. And more so for the perpetrator. They'll tell you, oh, I expected you to handle it, let's say, in a different way, but now the way you handled it, I do not like it. It's more on immature, on now the victim-ish side, and not on the perpetrator's side. So then, does it show like some sense of immaturity, insecurity to just, because sometimes, and especially if, let's say, wait, okay, two questions in one. One is, do we wait until, and especially after the first time when, let's say, case of cheating happens, and probably you address it to this other person, do you have to wait until it happens the second time, the third time, or the fourth time for you to say, you know what, I cannot handle this anymore? Or, I mean, the first time it happens, you just take action. And then number two, then that aspect of immaturity and insecurity.
Right. Now, couples, let me just talk to them. If you are married and your spouse cheats on you the first time, please go for counseling. Please. Go
together or just the person who
together,
feels I can't?
Together. Because what will happen in counseling, you will get more information about the cheating. First of all, you as the person who's been cheated on, whether it is a man or a woman, your ego and your sense of self-esteem, sense of self-worth has been hit. So you are going through grief and loss. If you do not allow a professional counselor to help you guys deal with that, then you will forgive, but you will never let go. And so it is going to show up. And then you will not have the opportunity to really figure out why the cheating happened.
Does it always have to be a why?
Yes, there is always a why, and I will explain why. The question why is not an excuse. It's understanding. So we need to understand. So either we are going to understand my husband or my wife who cheated on me is a sex addict. or we will understand that this person is immature when it comes to self-control.
Yeah.
We have in mental health, there is a disorder called impulse control disorder. These people, they cannot, if they feel the urge, they just act like a dog in heat, you know. So there is, so we understand that. Or number three, we have people who punish others. So if I'm mad at you and I cannot come and tell you, so I give you silent treatment, and while I am silently treating you, I am also triangulating somebody else who is giving me that emotional support. And that emotional support I get from this lady or this man can lead now to the sexual cheating. So what is happening when you first find out somebody has cheated?
Seek help.
Now, even if it was a one-night stand, ile tu nini, hata kama huyo mtu alienda akasolicit, if they solicited, let's say it was a business transaction, there is a problem. So let's get to the bottom of it. It will never happen again. But how do you know, even you who cheated, do you know the reason why you did it? So usually what happens when I do those three kinds of people who cheat, then I will find the person who cheated will be able to identify which of the three, and the person who was cheated on gets an understanding, so that they also see, and because maybe they are the ones who give silent treatment. So you don't talk to your husband for a whole month because of something maybe he didn't do or he didn't come home on time. So the guy, you kind of, you punish him but by withholding. So even you, the victim, you need to also look and see, are there abusive tendencies within your relationship as you are dealing with the person? There is also the aspect of personality differences.
You're right.
So if you are a sanguine, you move on very fast and things, but if you are a melancholic and you are a phlegmatic, you will hold on to things and you will put things under the rug. For a phlegmatic, eventually, you don't care. You can develop that. You talk, I hear you, but hey, I'm going to do whatever I want to. But the melancholic will punish you. Because that they think deeply, they feel deeply, they get hurt deeply. And so that is why the first time it happens,
seek help.
Please seek help. Don't wait until the fourth time.
All right. And now the biggest question is then, how do we move past that? Because you see, there's a level of hurt, and that is more emotionally and psychologically. And then number two is trust. It's completely shattered. I do not trust you anymore. So then how do we move on past that in a healthy way? So now there is a process that each one of them will have to go through. Now, so the cheated one, first of all, see, they have come, they have confronted, and the person has actually said, yes, this has been happening. Immediately, that victim is going to go into a process of denial, and they are shocked, but also they are hurt, really deeply hurt. So they will go, they have lost something very, very important in their relationship, and that is the trust. So they are going through the grief and loss process that a person who has lost a loved one goes through. So that person needs to understand. From then on, there are things that you are going to be doing. Number one, overthinking. Number two, crying a lot. Number three, being very angry. Number four, waking up this person in the middle of the night because they just remembered something. And they say you have. So they have a lot of questions because remember, when the truth comes, this person who's been cheating, there is a lot of deception that has been happening. Up to the point when, so what will happen is that this person who was cheated on will start to remember instances. You mean that day you told me you were... Everything now starts to make sense.
And then remember, the person who was cheated on, they could see signs. And they would ask, and this person would vehemently deny.
You know what most people say is that this is just my friend. I mean, there's nothing really overthinking this thing.
So when the truth finally comes out and they acknowledge, the victim is thrown into a roller coaster of emotions and confusion and really bad feelings. They have to go through that process. In the person who cheated, guess what they feel? Number one, relief.
Okay.
Because there is no more secret. So now they feel like, phew. And then they have to be subjected to the fact that this person they've just gotten the truth. So they are all over the place. You see now he had already gone through the guilt, the shame, all that. And then when the truth, they got to the place where they came out and told the truth. So them, they are okay. They are at the end of the process. But this one is at the beginning.
Of the process,
you see, so that is what the clash is. So when I work with couples like that, I tell them, you, the perpetrator of the crime, you need to have a lot of patience with your
this other person.
Especially the first 3 months. You will be taken through the rigor, and you need to be strong enough to deal with it. You need to have compassion plus empathy to be able to understand what your partner is going through. Because she is going to be triggered by everything. You asked, how do we... So if we decide to save the relationship, there will need to be a process of forgiveness. And this process of forgiveness means that the person who was hurt, they will need to really process the pain. And at the same time, we don't want to forgive prematurely. You need to forgive because you know what you are forgiving. So the person who has offended needs to be very honest. The honesty here, as much as it sounds like an oxymoron, because they have been cheating and now we are telling them to be honest, you know, but that is what is needed so that now the person who's hurting can begin the process of forgiving. And that once the forgiveness has happened, now the person who has forgiven is dealing with what we call triggers.
Okay. Maybe we have to end the show right now. And so can we just take your parting shot then, as far as, because this is very difficult. It's such a heavy discussion. You know, that sometimes people don't want to talk about it. And like me, I don't know. I don't even know what I will do if in the event that I find someone cheating. So in like 10 seconds, just a parting shot as far as just dealing with infidelity in relationships.
Please seek. All I can say, seek the support of a professional counselor. It will be your best bet if you are the one who has been cheated on. Seek that, you can gain some clarity and you can be able to start the process of healing.
Because healing is important. I mean, you do not want to get stuck, you know, at one point for the rest of your life. All right, Grace, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
To just discuss on matters relationships, because like we said, it affects us in one way or the other. So the more we understand and the more we deal with it, the better we'll be. You know, as a people. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for staying with us as well until the end of the show. Now I believe you have better understanding as far as just relationships in general is concerned, and more so romantic relationships. We have to end it here. My name is Winnie Lubembe. On behalf of the team who put together this show, we wish you a lovely day ahead. Goodbye for now.